Kyle Richards is good with Garcelle Beauvais after she demanded an apology from the OG. Kyle Richards provided an update on her rocky relationship with Garcelle Beauvais, proclaiming that they're good. This update comes after Garcelle demanded that the OG apologize for trashing her on an episode of the RHOBH after show. The moment occurred when Kyle responded to a scene from the show where Garcelle remarked on her sexuality, exclaiming, "If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian." Kyle didn't appear to have a problem with Garcelle's comment at the time. However, the brunette beauty later slammed the actress and called her an **** for the remark. That didn't sit well with Garcelle, but the two women have hashed things out. This won't be the last time the topic arises. It will likely come up again at the reunion, so let's see if the two will still be on good terms after that. RHOBH castmates Kyle and Garcelle have made amends. Kyle shared an update about where things stand between her and Garcelle after her scathing remark on the RHOBH after show. The OG spoke with TMZ while leaving a hotel in New York and revealed, "We spoke. We're good. We spoke a few days ago, actually. I was upset, but we're good," continued Kyle as she happily posed for snaps with fans while talking to the paparazzi. As for whether Kyle gave the actress the apology she demanded, the mom of four said they both apologized to each other. Garcelle confirms that things are good between her and Kyle. The media outlet also caught up with Garcelle after Kyle admitted that they've made amends, and she also confirmed that they are in a good place. The last time Garcelle spoke to TMZ, she allegedly doubled down on the lesbian comment, noting that she had nothing to apologize for. The outlet claimed Garcelle said she would apologize if Kyle did it first. However, a lot has changed over the past few days. Now things are better between them. "Yeah," responded the RHOBH star when asked about making things right with Kyle. Garcelle, known for being a pot stirrer according to viewers, was asked if she regretted commenting on the sensitive topic of Kyle's sexuality. However, her response might upset the OG all over again. "You know me. If I said it, it's because I mean it," confessed the 58-year-old, who noted that she's happy Kyle publicly confirmed that they are okay. "I'm glad she's saying we're good, 'cause I think we're good," said Garcelle. Kyle Richards took a sip of her sparkling water, the ice clanking against the glass as she sat back on the pristine white couch of her Encino home. She was drained. The latest Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion had been nothing short of explosive, and once again she found herself at the center of it all. Garcelle Beauvais had been firm. She wanted an apology. An actual, real, no excuses apology from Kyle, and for once, Kyle had to admit, maybe she owed her one. Reunion couches had a way of forcing clarity, even when the women sitting on them refused to acknowledge it in the moment. But in the weeks that followed, Kyle had replayed the confrontation over and over in her head. The tension between them had been brewing for years, misunderstandings, perceived slights, and that lingering feeling that somehow they just never quite clicked. But Garcelle wasn't wrong. Kyle had been dismissive. She had been defensive. And if she was honest with herself, she had underestimated Garcelle's presence in the group for far too long. The problem with being an OG, Kyle thought, was that you start to believe your own narrative. You assume you're right because you've been here the longest, because you fought the hardest, because you survived the revolving door of friendships and alliances. But Garcelle had held her own. She hadn't let Kyle bulldoze her into submission like so many before her. And, as much as it pained Kyle to admit, she respected the hell out of her for that. So Kyle had called her. The phone call had been surprisingly easy. Kyle had expected more tension, maybe even a little pushback, but Garcelle had simply listened. Kyle explained that she had let her ego get in the way, that she had reacted instead of responding, that she had assumed she was always being attacked when really, Garcelle was just holding her accountable. Garcelle, in that measured, graceful way of hers, had taken it in. And then she had said something that stuck with Kyle. "I don't need perfection, Kyle. I just need honesty." It was a lesson Kyle wished she had learned years ago. So here they were, weeks later, sitting across from each other at a chic Beverly Hills cafe, sipping oat milk lattes and making small talk about their kids. Garcelle's twin boys were growing up fast, and Kyle gushed about Portia's latest endeavors. It was civil. It was light. It was easy. Kyle hesitated before speaking, then took a deep breath. I want you to know I meant what I said on the phone. I don't want us to be in this weird place anymore. Garcelle nodded, stirring her coffee. I appreciate that. And I don't hold grudges, Kyle. I just don't like being disrespected. Kyle swallowed, nodding. I get that now. And I think, for a long time, I assumed that if someone was coming at me, it was personal. But I realize now that sometimes people just want to be heard. And I wasn't really listening to you. Garcelle's expression softened. That's all I ever wanted. There was a moment of silence between them, but it wasn't awkward. It was the kind of silence that meant things were settling into place, that wounds were being given the space to heal. Kyle felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She had spent so much time fighting battles that didn't need to be fought, so much time defending herself when all she really needed to do was listen. The cameras would roll again soon, and Kyle knew their relationship would continue to be tested. That was the nature of the show. But for now, in this moment, they were good. And that was enough. Kyle Richards leaned back in her plush white armchair, exhaling as she processed the latest storm that had passed through the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills universe. It had been a season of shifting alliances, fractured friendships, and plenty of moments that sent social media into a frenzy. But now, at least on the surface, things between her and Garcelle Beauvais were good. Good. Such a simple word. Such a loaded word. Kyle wasn't naive. In Beverly Hills, good could mean a lot of things. It could mean civil, as in, we won't be screaming at each other in restaurants. It could mean strategic, as in, let's pretend to move on so we don't give the audience another messy feud to dissect. Or if Kyle was being completely honest with herself, it could mean fragile, as in, we've put a Band-Aid on this, but at any moment, it could come undone. Because Garcelle had demanded an apology, and Kyle had given one, but did she mean it? The demand for an apology, it had all come to a head at Sutton Strack's Southern-themed soiree, a night filled with expensive champagne, dramatic eye rolls, and confessional looks that could burn through the screen. Garcelle, never one to hold back, had confronted Kyle in front of the entire group. You said things about me that weren't fair, Kyle, Garcelle had stated firmly, her voice even but her eyes sharp. And honestly, I think you owe me an apology. Kyle had blinked, momentarily stunned. An apology? From her? The OG. The glue that had held RHOBH together for over a decade. She had glanced around the table, searching for backup. Doric Kemsley was suddenly very interested in adjusting her hair. Erica Jane swirled her martini, amused but uninvolved. And Sutton. Well, Sutton just widened her eyes in that signature, this isn't my business, but I'm thrilled it's happening way. Kyle had sighed. She knew when she was cornered. Okay, Garcelle, she had said, her voice careful. If I hurt you, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. Garcelle had given a small nod, but the way she studied Kyle afterward made it clear she was taking notes.